Students, welcome to the Indian Constitution virtual classes. So, today I am going to uh, discuss the method of amendment of the Constitution of India and recent amendments in the Indian Constitution. Method of amendment of the Constitution. The makers of the Indian Constitution were fully aware of the need to provide for the amendment of the Constitution within the Constitution itself. The Constitution must have the quality to develop through amendments. The procedure for the amendment. In Part 20 of the Constitution, which contains only one article, Article 368, which deals with the power of the Parliament to amend the Constitution. There are two special methods for the amendment of various parts of the Constitution. However, along with it, the Union Parliament has the power to change some specified articles of the Constitution through the exercise of its lawmaking powers. They are like this. First, amendment by two-thirds majority in both the houses of the Parliament of India. Second, amendment by two-thirds majority in both the houses of the Parliament and ratification by at least half of the state legislatures. Third, amendment in some parts of the Constitution by enactment of laws passed by simple majority. Simple majority means one fourth members support in the Parliament of India or by the Union Parliament. So let us see uh, what the first method says about the amendment. Amendment by two-thirds majority in both the houses of the Parliament. Article 368 of the Constitution says that under this method, most of the Constitution can be amended by the Parliament alone. For this purpose, an amendment bill has to be passed by each of the houses by a majority of its total membership, so absolute majority, and by a two-thirds majority of members present and voting. So it is a rigid method in so far as it prescribes a special majority for amending the Constitution. Second, amendment by two-thirds majority in both the houses of the Parliament come ratification by at least half of the state legislatures. In respect of some key features of the Constitution, a rigid method of amendment has been prescribed. In respect of some provisions as specified in Article 368 itself, the amendment making involves two stages. They are the passing of the amendment bill by both the houses of the Union Parliament by a majority of total membership and a two-thirds majority of members present and voting in each house in both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Second, the amendment bill, as passed by the parliament by two-thirds majority, becomes an act only after it secures ratification from at least half of the several state legislatures and the assent of the President of India. So, there are some provisions in our constitution which can be amended by this rigid method. So, rigid method means two-thirds special majority of the members of both the houses of the parliament. Article 54 and 55. So, the provision is election of the president. Article 73, extent of the executive powers of the union. Article 162, extent of the executive power of the states. Article 241, provisions regarding the high courts in union territories. Chapter 4 and Part 5, provisions regarding the Supreme Court of India. Number 6, Chapter 1 of Part 11, legislative relations between the Union and the states. Number 7, Chapter 5 of Part 6, provisions regarding high courts in states. Number 8, any of the lists in the 7th schedule of the Constitution of India. Number 9, provisions regarding the representation of states in the parliament. Number 10, the provisions of Article 368. So these are the provisions which can be amended by two-thirds majority support of the members of the parliament. The amendment by a simple majority by the parliament. The constitution empowers the parliament to amend or change some specified constitutional provisions. The parliament can amend these by ordinary lawmaking. For amending these provisions, a bill can be introduced in either House of Parliament, which becomes a law when passed by both the houses individually by simple majorities of their members present and voting, and signed by the president. So every amendment bill should get the signature of the president to finalize or for the implementation. So these are the provisions which can be amended by this simple majority. Article 2, 3 and 4. The provision is provide for admission or establishment of new states, formation of new states, and alteration of the areas, boundaries, or names of existing states, and laws made under Articles 2 and 3 of the Constitution. Article 5 to 11, the provision is citizenship of India. So, in part 2, we see the provisions relating to the citizenship of the citizens of India. So, this can be amended by a simple majority vote of the members of the parliament. Then Article 81 provision deals with the delimitation of the constituencies. Article 100, sub-article 3, related to quorum in parliament. Quorum means a minimum number of members to conduct a session or conduct a meeting. Article 105, concerned with the privileges of the members of the parliament. Article 106, related to fixed salaries and allowances of the members of parliament. Article 118, sub-article 2, relating to the rules of procedure in each house of the parliament. Article 210, sub-article 2, relating to English as a language of the parliament. Article 124, sub-article 1, which concerns the appointment of judges in the Supreme Court. Article 135 relate to the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Article 169 related to the creation and abolition of an upper house in a state. Article 240 concerning the legislatures of the Union territories. Article 327 relating to elections in the country. Article 241 relating to the official language of India, and Schedule 2, 5 and 6 of the Constitution. Then recent amendments of the Constitution. So till today, more than 114 amendment bills presented, and some amendments are made already and implemented in the Constitution. So we don't have time to discuss each and every amendment of the Constitution. Therefore, let us see from Amendment 51 to 103. For which purpose these amendments are made and changes are made in the Constitution. 51st Amendment. So the date of enforcement, June 16th, 1986. Provide reservation to scheduled tribes in Nagaland, Meghalaya, Mizoram, and Arunachal Pradesh state assemblies. 52nd Amendment, date of enforcement, March 1st, 1985, related to anti-defection law, provide disqualification of members from Parliament and Assembly in case of defection from one party to another party. 53rd Amendment, February 20th, 1987, so relating to the special provisions with respect to the state of Mizoram. 54th Amendment, date of enforcement 1st April 1986. The provisions or objective of the amendment to increase the salary of the Chief Justice of India and other judges, provisions for determining future increases without the need for the constitutional amendment. 55th Amendment, 20th February 1987. The purpose is special powers to governor consequent to information of state of Arunachal Pradesh. 56th Amendment, 30th May 1987. Objective of this amendment: transition provision to enable formation of the state of Goa. 57th Amendment, 21st September 1987. Provide reservation to scheduled tribes in Nagaland, Meghalaya, Mizoram, and Arunachal Pradesh state assemblies. 58th Amendment, 9th December 1987. Provisions to publish authentic Hindi translation of the Constitution. Provisions to publish authentic Hindi translation of the future amendments of the Constitution. 59th Amendment, 30th March 1988. Objective: Article 356 amended to permit President's rule up to 3 years in the state of Punjab. Articles 352 and Article 359A amended to permit imposing in state of Punjab or in specific districts of the state of Punjab. 60th Amendment, December 20th, 1988. Objective: professional tax increased from a maximum of rupees 250 to a maximum of rupees 2500. 61st Amendment, March 28th, 1989. Objective: to reduce the age for voting rights from 21 to 18 years. 62nd Amendment, December 20th, 1989. So, date of enforcement. Then, objective: extend reservations for SC, ST and nomination of Anglo-Indian members in the Parliament and state assemblies for another 10 years, that is up to 2000. 63rd Amendment, 6th January 1990. Emergency powers applicable to state of Punjab accorded in Article 359A as per Amendment 59 repealed. 64th Amendment, 16th April 1990. Article 356 amended to permit President's rule up to 3 years and 6 months in the state of Punjab. 65th Amendment, 1992. Objective: National Commission for Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes formed and its statutory powers specified in the Constitution. 66th Amendment, 7th June 1990. Objective: place Land Reforms Acts and amendments to this Act under Schedule 9 of the Constitution. 67th Amendment, 4th October 1990, Article 356 to permit President's rule up to 4 years in the state of Punjab. 68th Amendment, 12th March 1991, Article 356 amended to permit President's rule up to 5 years in the state of Punjab. 69th Amendment, 1st February 1992, objective to provide for a legislative assembly and council of ministers for federal national capital of Delhi. Delhi continues to be a union territory. 70th Amendment, 21st December 1991, objective include national capital of Delhi and union territory of Pondicherry in electoral college for presidential election. So earlier these two union territories have not given any uh, role to participate in presidential election, but by this amendment these two union territories allowed to participate in the presidential election. 71st Amendment, 31st August 1992, objective include Konkani, Manipuri and Nepali as national languages. 72nd Amendment, December 5th, 1992, objective provide reservation to scheduled tribes in the Tripura State Legislative Assembly. 73rd Amendment, 24th April 1993, which is related to the local self-governing institutions. Statutory provisions for Panchayat Raj as third level of administration in villages. 74th Amendment, 1st June 1993, which is also related to Panchayat Raj institutions. Statutory provisions for local administrative bodies as third level of administration in urban areas such as towns and cities. 75th Amendment, 15th May 1994, provisions for setting up of rent control tribunals. 76th Amendment, 31st August 1994, enable continuance of 69% reservation in Tamil Nadu by including the relevant Tamil Nadu Act under ninth schedule of the Constitution. 77th Amendment, 17th June 1995. So this is a technical amendment to protect reservations to scheduled caste and scheduled tribes employees in their promotions. 78th Amendment, 30th August 1995, place Land Reforms Acts and amendments to these act under Schedule 9 of the Constitution. 79th Amendment, 25th January 2000, objective to extend reservations for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes and nomination of Anglo-Indian members in Parliament and state assemblies for another 10 years, that is up to 2010. 80th Amendment, 9th June 2000, objective Implement 10th Finance Commission recommendations to simplify the tax structures by pooling and sharing all taxes between states and the center. 81st Amendment, 9th June 2000, protect SC/ST reservations in filling backlog of vacancies. Then 82nd Amendment, September 8, to permit relaxation of qualifying marks and other criteria in a reservation in a promotion for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe candidates. 83rd Amendment, 8th September 2000, objective to exempt Arunachal Pradesh from reservation for scheduled caste in Panchayati Raj institutions. 84th Amendment, 21st February 2002, extend the usage of 1971 National Census population figures for state-wise distribution of parliamentary seats. 85th Amendment, 4th of January 2002. So this is also a technical amendment to protect seniority in case of promotions of SC/ST employees. 86th Amendment, 12th December 2002, objective provisions provides right to education until the age of 14 and early childhood care until the age of 6. 87th Amendment, June 22nd, 2003, objective extend the usage of 1971 National Census population figures for state-wise distribution of parliamentary seats. 88th Amendment, 15th January 2004, to extend statutory cover for levy and utilization of service tax. 89th Amendment, 28th September 2003, the National Commission for Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes was bifurcated into the National Commission for Scheduled Castes and the National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. 90th Amendment, 28th September 2003, the same day. So, objective reservation in Assam Assembly relating to Bodo Land Territory area. Then 91st Amendment, 1st January, objective restrict the size of Council of Ministers to 15% of legislative members and to strengthen anti-defection laws. 92nd Amendment, 7th January 2004, objective enable levy of service tax include Bodo, Dogri, Santali and Maithili as national languages. 93rd Amendment, 20th January 2006, objective to enable provision of reservation for the backward classes in government as well as private educational institutions. 94th Amendment, 12th June 2006, to provide for a Ministry of Tribal Welfare in newly created Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh states. 95th Amendment, 25th January 2010, objective extended the reservation of seats in Lok Sabha and state assemblies for SC and ST from 60 to 70 years. 96th Amendment, 23rd September 2011, substituted Odia for Oriya. 97th Amendment, 12th January 2012, added the words cooperative societies in Article 19, Subarticle 1, Section C, and inserted Article 43B, that is for promotion of cooperative societies, and added Part 9B, that is the cooperative societies. 98th Amendment, 2nd January 2013, objective to empower the Governor of Karnataka to take steps to develop the Hyderabad Karnataka region. 99th Amendment, 13th April 2015, objective the amendment provides for the formation of a National Judicial Appointments Commission. 16 state assemblies out of 29 states, including Goa, Rajasthan, Tripura, Gujarat, and Telangana, ratified the central legislation, enabling the President of India to give assent to the bill. The amendment was struck down by the Supreme Court on 16th October 2015. 100th Amendment, 1st August 2015, objective exchange of certain enclave territories with Bangladesh and conferment of citizenship rights to residents of enclaves consequent to signing of land boundary agreement treaty between India and Bangladesh. 101st Amendment, 8th September 2016, objective introduced a national goods and service tax in India from 1st of July 2017. Then 102nd Amendment in the month of August 2018, objective to give constitutional status to National Commission on Backward Classes. Then 103rd Amendment, 12th January 2019, objective this amendment is related to the reservation of jobs in central government as well as government educational institutions. So these are the amendments which are made and implemented in the Constitution. So students, thank you. I will conclude my presentation here. So let us continue with the another unit of the Indian Constitution in the next class. Thank you.